So how does basting work? So basting is very similar to pinning in the sense that it is meant to hold two pieces of fabric together temporarily until you get more permanent stitching in place. The problem with pins though is pins have run the risk of constantly stabbing you, which is not fun, and they also run the risk of falling out very easily. So if you want something to stay in place for a little bit longer than pins and you don't want it to stab you, and you also want to be able to go right over it with the sewing machine instead of stopping and removing the pins, you can baste things instead. Now over here on my sewing machine, I'm going to make sure my machine's set to a straight stitch using this pattern selector. And I'm going to make sure the width is at 0 and the stitch length is the longest it can be. On this machine, it is a 4, but your machine might have a different longest stitch length. Now, basting, just like pins, are meant to be temporary and removable. So we don't really super care about what our seam allowance is because it's going to get removed anyways. I'm going to put this in the machine, put the presser foot down. And when I start to stitch, I am not going to back stitch. I am just going to stitch forwards across whatever line I'm basting. Now, if whatever you're basting is not the same length, I would baste up to the point in which they overlap and then a little bit further so my basting stays in place until I want to remove it. At the end, I am not going to backstitch. I am just going to take it out and cut the thread. Now you can see my two fabrics are held together with this basting thread. When I am ready to remove it, since I did not do any sort of back stitches, it means it's much easier to just grab the thread and take it out. And since I used a long stitch length, they're very easy to see and very easy to get under with a seam ripper. My favorite trick though is to just grab one of the tails, start almost gathering the fabric, and keep going until you reach the other side and you literally pull the thread completely out. Like that. Basting can be used in order to baste your darts closed before you permanently sew them. That way you can double check and make sure that they really do line up before you permanently stitch them. And it can do the same for your pockets as well. If you're doing a patch pocket and you're not sure of the placement, baste it on, check that it's in the right spot, and then permanently stitch it. Basting can be done by machine as well as by hand with a very quick running stitch. But I personally am lazy and so just go with the machine. Happy sewing, I hope this helped. Next time we're going to start talking about gathering. If you like my videos, I would highly appreciate it if you were to buy me a Ko-fi and find me on my other platforms.